Hey, fancy nerds. I can breathe. Although you can hear, um, I'm just now getting my voice back. I lost it for a little bit, but it's back. Y'all have to excuse me. I'm kind of tired because I've been cooking all day, and I really shouldn't have scheduled this live on the same day I decided to cook all day. Um, I took my Thanksgiving leftovers, like leftover turkey, and made turkey black bean chili. And I also made some brown butter toffee chocolate chip cookies, which were delicious. I'm definitely making those again for Christmas. But what we're doing here today is, as some of you may know, I uh, do a lot of videos on Game of Thrones. I am a writer, and I have watched lots of Game of Thrones. I've watched Game of Thrones the entire seasons, and I've also read the books that are out. So I'm giving my alternate version of like the final couple of seasons of Game of Thrones. Now, I'm not going to redo like season six or seven. We're going to we're going to pick up where the Battle of Winterfell leaves off. So basically, everything up to the Battle of Winterfell stays the same, except Daenerys, um, doesn't know that Jon is Aegon Targaryen. She doesn't find out that he's her nephew. So I didn't I didn't flesh this out. This is an outline. So I'm going to be giving you my 4-page outline, and basically I estimate this is probably 2 seasons. So at least we're redoing the rest of season 8 and all of a season 9, maybe a season 10 too, but definitely more than just one season. Okay, so after the Battle of Winterfell, remember Daenerys doesn't know Jon is Aegon Targaryen. They don't go to King's Landing right away. They're going to do um, what you normally do in the land of Westeros. They usually in Game of Thrones every other time they've taken their time and they've sort of sat in a place and rested and recovered. So instead of rushing, Cersei's gonna be there. Cersei is already on the throne. What is she rushing to go back to? Exactly. So they are going to rest and recover in the north. We're also giving Jon time to process the fact that he's a Targaryen and not a Stark. And his whole life was a lie. And he has to sort of balance out the whole Ned Stark was the most honorable man he knew, but Ned Stark lied to him for his whole life. So he has to come to grips with that reality. Um, and the more time that you have gives Daenerys more time to become more and more paranoid. So because of this, because she doesn't know about Jon and all of that, we're not killing Varys. So Varys stays alive. Um, and Jamie is also not going back to King's Landing. Jamie stays in the north with Brienne. Jamie stays with Brienne. And with this, we're giving Tyrion a chance to shine. So instead of making all the mistakes he made in season 8, he's gonna tell Daenerys, he's gonna basically convince her to stay in the north and do what she did in Marine and get a chance to know the people of Westeros and let them get a chance to know her, because otherwise they're just fighting for Jon. They're not fighting for her. So he wants to give her a chance to like you say you're a queen. Okay, rule these people. And like she did in Marine, but much more successfully. So basically, Daenerys is basically gonna do what she can to help the people deal with winter now that the long night is over. Of course, because she's doing that, she's probably gonna have to work with Sansa a lot, because Sansa knows how to deal with the North, and she will do what she can to get Sansa's help, she will ingratiate herself with her because at the same time she is also Jon's sister and she has feelings for Jon. So she wants to get his family to like her. Okay. Oh, have Jon and Rhaegal bond. Um, and I don't know like how much to show this because I don't want this to become like a kid's show. But you do want it because, like, Ghost is there. Ghost is his number one guy. But Ghost is gonna feel a certain way about him having a whole dragon. So Ghost is gonna feel a little left out. Jon is gonna, try to make him and Rhaegal friends. And Jon and Rhaegal bonding will further um, feed Daenerys's paranoia. So you have after the Battle of Winterfell, where everybody's singing Jon's praises, everybody in the North, bows down to Jon, and now he is bonding with one of her dragons. So he basically has everything she wants. Um, okay. Varys, Tyrion, and the Onion Knight plot to have Jon and Daenerys marry. In their plotting, Tyrion brings it to Sansa, who is not a fan of the idea. She does not want her brother marrying Daenerys Targaryen. Um, Tyrion plays up to her that, basically her desire to protect the North. And so he uses that to convince her that this will be good. If Jon marries Daenerys, then the North will be protected. Because you can't trust Cersei. You have to put your, what do you call it? You have to put your, I guess your trust is another word I'm trying to come up with. Well, hello, mon ami. Hello. Um, but it was so long ago, girl. Um, I know, but I just wrote this. This is what I just wrote. So, well, I didn't just write it. I wrote this in the summer. I was like in the summer because like I'm still constantly doing videos on Game of Thrones. So I just wrote this idea of what I can redo the ending this past summer, this July and August. Um, mm. So, so Sansa has a talk with Arya about Jon marrying Daenerys, and of course Arya doesn't like it, and she doesn't trust Daenerys. So now the two sisters are joined in their dislike of the idea of having a Targaryen in the family. Um, they go to Jon and tell them of Tyrion and Varys's plans to try to cut them off and say, if basically if they get ahead of the idea, they can convince him not to do it. So because of their distrust and dislike of a Targaryen, Jon tells them the truth about him being Aegon Targaryen. Like, I'm a Targaryen. I'm not really a Stark. I am a Targaryen. Um, so they beg him not to tell Daenerys the truth because that will put his life in danger. So, um, yeah. So basically, they're like, keep the secret because nothing good will come out of her finding out that that you're a Targaryen. So it switched. Instead of him telling Daenerys first and then her begging him not to tell his sisters, he tell his sisters first and they beg him not to tell Daenerys. Do-do-do-do. So that further feeds Daenerys's paranoia because she knows Jon is keeping something from her. So, So so she knows that he's keeping something big from her, and she can't figure it out. So now she's like doesn't know whether or not she should trust Jon. In the meantime, Varys uses his resources to find out what's going on in King's Landing, what Cersei is up to, so they can be prepared. Because yes, his little birds have been taken over by Qyburn, but he still has other means, other spies he can lean on, so he can find out what's going on. So they won't just be sitting in the north, la di da di da, not knowing what this heifer is up to. So if Varys, keeps an eye on King's Landing. Now that the fight is over, Jaime does not know what to do next. He and Brienne talk about how his whole life has been dictated by Cersei, and this may be the beginning of him opening his eyes into seeing how Cersei has basically manipulated him his entire life. Like he wouldn't have been in the on the King's Guard if she hadn't told him to do it, and like all these because basically uh she knew that what's his face. Thank you, Emma Frost, for gifting 5 that fantasy chick memberships. Everyone, thank Emma Frost for your membership. Okay, so basically, he knew. Cersei knew that Tywin was about to marry him off to I think it was Lysa. I think he was going to marry um Jaime to Lysa Tully. But so she was like, if you become a Kingsguard, then he can't marry you away. Uh hey Emma Frost, thank you for the super chat. So she gifted memberships and she sent a super chat. Thank you, Emma. Love you. Okay. So basically, she's the reason he's on the King's Guard. She had all these children by him that he can't come out, and so like all of his children, he hasn't been able to say I'm your father because, I mean, he wouldn't have been able to say it anyway because incest is only accepted in the Targaryens for some reason. Um, but yeah, so he's beginning to see all the ways that Cersei, especially because while he was gone, he was being held captive. He lost his hand. The heifer was sleeping with their cousin. Whole time they were gone. So, yeah, do. He ain't like that. So, he's starting to open his eyes. So Cersei, I keep it the same, makes her alliance with Euron and then tries to pass off that baby as his. Daenerys makes alliances with the other houses. She's already has Dorne, the Riverlands, the Vale, the Stormlands, everywhere but the Westerlands. And we all know the Westerlands belong to the Lannisters. So while she's in the north, helping them get through the winter and trying to get, be somebody that the north people can get to know, relate to, and start to like, she makes all of these other alliances and she sort of takes them out of Cersei's hands. So yes, Cersei is still on the Iron Throne, but she has all of these alliances. Okay. Cersei's only allies are her family, Pike, and the Iron Bank of Bravos. Varys uses this knowledge to help them get the other families on their side. Uh, wrote questions to myself. Where's Bronn? Bronn is still playing both sides. He sees that Cersei has more enemies than allies, but he doesn't want to give up on her yet. She's currently on the throne. So I can't remember when she sent him to kill Jaime. Oh, that would have been before. So he's still in the north chilling, waiting to see how this pans out. He doesn't go back to King's Landing just yet. Um Do-do-do-do. So Cersei marries Euron and claims to be pregnant with this child, which royally pisses off Jaime because he knows that child is his. Um, and do-do-do-do. Oh, Emma Frost gifted 5 more fantasy chick memberships. Thank you, Emma. Um, Okay. Varys tells him of the Red Sparrow cousin, how she slept with him, how he was with Robert when he died, and how it was her dalliance with him that got her shamed with a cousin, the Red Sparrow cousin. The Red Sparrow Lannister cousin. I can't remember that boy's name. Um John tries to learn more about his parents. So now that he knows that, his who his mother and father are, he tries to learn more about what's her name? Lord, why can't I think of her name? It's the little girl's name. What's the little girl's name? She was named after her. I can only remember her. Why can't I remember her name? Anyway, his mama, and Aegon Targaryen. Well, I can't remember these people's name. It's Rihanna. Rihanna Stark, I think. Okay. No, Rhaegar and Lyanna. There we go. Rhaegar and Lyanna. Bam. Made her a pop singer for a second. um, uh, sorry, my notes to myself is cracking me up. Bran, who can see the fucking future, warns Jon about Daenerys, her going crazy. Um, it's like after the war was over, Bran just shut up. Like, you can still see the future, you can still see the past. Like, you know, with everything going on, you should still be advising Jon, like, yes, she's about to go crazy. But oh, I have forgotten what this was supposed to mean. Who are planning something for this? Oh, okay. So, oh, no, you got it. Bro should have shut up from the start, in my opinion. Who, Bran? Bran should have shut up. um, yeah. Okay. Okay. So Varys gets intel from King's Landing that Cersei and Euron has a plan to take out the dragons. He doesn't know what it is, but he knows that they're gunning for the dragons. So Tyrion, Varys, and the Onion Knight, I can never remember his name, but you know who the Onion Knight is, will caution Daenerys to watch out for her remaining 2 dragons because she only got 2 left. So, watch out for these dragons. Daenerys remembers that Jaime tried to use a weapon against Drogon. So then now they know, oh, they got one of those little, you know, arrow things. They have an arrow. Oh, why can't I say it? I can't even say it, but you know what I'm trying to say. An arrow big enough to take down dragons. So now they can plan to protect the dragons from whatever Euron has up his sleeve. Okay. And Jamie is still there, so Jamie can tell them exactly what it is and what it does and how it works. So they utilize Jamie. Um, okay. Excuse me. All right. um, where am I? Okay. John and Regal fly off together somewhere um, to explore his past. Like, it's too soon. He wouldn't go to King's Landing. So I think basically, like, he goes to the places where Rhaegar dies. I think they say he dies on the Trident, and she died in the Tower of Joy. So like he because he's on Rhaegal, he can fly all over the kingdom. So he goes to the places and especially like maybe not the Trident, but definitely the Tower of Joy, because there might be some records or something there that might tell him about when he was born. So he goes to the Tower of Joy and finds out about um how like what happened around his birth, because again he is still trying to come to terms with the fact that he is a Targaryen. I mean, he's still a Stark, but he's a Targaryen, and he has a higher right to the Iron Throne than Daenerys, but of course he don't want to deal with that just yet. George R.R. Martin might be coming for you now. I just I wrote this before I found out that he don't like fan fiction. He's like, don't write fan fiction, write your own stuff. I do write my own stuff. I have my own books. I write scripts, I make films, I do all of that. But I also do fan fiction because I love it. But I do understand why he don't like it, but I love it. Uh, okay, so John now has a decision to make, to trust Daenerys with the truth or not, because she is really pushing him on, what are you keeping from me? You're keeping something from me. So he's like, he has to deal with that. He also has to deal, like, he's coming to terms with who he is. He's also coming to terms with this woman he's in love with and who he's still sleeping with is his auntie. Yeah, but he's a Targaryen, so that's okay. um, Varys sees the signs of Daenerys' paranoia and begins to push forward the matrimonial fix, because he feels like if Jon marries her, becomes king, then no matter what happens with her, they'll be okay because Jon is a good and just king. Um, So he introduces the idea of Daenerys marrying Jon to Daenerys. She realizes that this is the best way forward. Jon already rides her the dragon, and because there was like there's that not myth, but the legend of the first Targaryens who came over from Valeria to Westeros. It was a Targaryen, his two sisters, and they rode three dragons and blah 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 blah. So it's kind of mimicking that, like, okay, you know it she even though she doesn't know he's a Targaryen, but he's basically her lover, and the two of them could ride these dragons and you know save Westeros, I guess. So she talks to John about getting married, and he realizes that he must now tell her the truth, uh, which of course magnifies her paranoia. Now that she know John is her brother, her older brother, her oldest brother's son, and heir to the Iron Throne before her. Um, he reassures her that he is devoted to her and his full support is behind her. She demands that he proves that he is devoted to her by marrying her. So now she's like, okay, okay, fine. You don't want to be king. I mean, you don't want to take this from me. You have to prove your devotion by marrying me. He of course is conflicted, but he agrees. So Arya and Sansa try to get him to change his mind because they don't want that. Um, he tells them she knows the truth. If Netflix was in charge of Game of Thrones, Jon Snow would have become true. I'm not reading that. Okay. Du-du-du-du-du. He tells them she knows the truth. It is the best way to keep them safe. He's thinking of his sisters and keeping them safe, and the best way to keep them safe is to do this. Um, John and Daenerys marry in the Godswood, where she announces his true identity as Aegon Targaryen to everyone. Cause she's kind of Lysa Tully crazy right now. she is she is she's kind of on edge. So she announces that Jon Snow is not a bastard, he is Aegon Targaryen. And basically it's her way of saying, um that them as Targaryens, like it in her mind, it strengthens her claim to the throne because it's two of them. Um, that would be lit, actually. It strengthens her claim to the throne because now both of them are Targaryens and blah 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 blah. Targaryen king and queen, and we all know how the Targaryens marry each other. So people are shocked, but they readily believe it. It's on brand with what the Honorable Ned Stark would do. Keep that secret to death. So everyone now knows and believes that Jon Stark is actually Aegon Targaryen. So guess what? We're not calling him Jon Snow anymore. Now his name is Aegon. He is now Aegon Targaryen. What is it? Aegon the sixth. No, Aegon, sixth of his name. There we go. they they have a wedding night before journeying to King's Landing for the final fight. So now that they're married, now they're about to go to King's Landing and take on Cersei. So this has been months, and the winter is starting to subside. Okay, it's it's still very strong in the north, but further south it's beginning to subside. Okay. Bronn stays behind to wait out the results to see who wins. Jamie makes a decision to finally forsake Cersei and stays behind with Brienne, who stays in Winterfell with Sansa. Arya and the Hound journey to King's Landing ahead of everyone to take care of their personal grudges because he wants to take out his brother, the mountain that rides. She wants to take out Cersei. What's gonna happen? Do-do-do-do-do. Ghost goes south with everyone else. So Ghost is still in the fight. He's recovered. I don't know if his ear um grows back, but it heals. And he's as strong as ever. And he goes south to fight. Jamie has second thoughts because he's Jamie, and he sneaks off to King's Landing because why else wouldn't he? Who treated worse their character, Game of Thrones, the last episode, or X-Men the Last Stand? Oh, I don't know. All I know is at least with X-Men The Last Stand was wiped out with Days of Future Past. Days of Future Past wiped out The Last Stand. So I'm going to say Game of Thrones because there's no real there's no real redo to it. There's no there's the only real salvation is when the winds of winter and the dream of spring comes out. That is what's going to you know renew, redo what happened on the show. Until we have that, we don't have that. So I'm gonna say Game of Thrones treated them worse because yeah, the last stand was wiped out canonically by Days of Future Past, and I was so happy when they did that. Okay, where am I? Okay, all of the allies converge on King's Landing. And remember, let's go back up. Those allies are Dorne, the Riverlands, Vale, because Cersei has not taken out Alaria Sand or what's her name? What's her name? From oh goodness. because I don't even have her here too, because it's the Dorne, the Riverlands, the Vale, Stormlands, everywhere but Westerlands. But you know what I'm trying to say. The flower people. Uh Olenna. She hasn't taken out Olenna. So all of the allies, where am I? Converge on King's Landing, including those in the boats. Euron pulls out his dragon killer, but misses both Drogon and Rhaegal. He can't aim at both of them, so while he is trying to get one, the other burns down his boat with the little dragon killer uh because it's, yes, people take, some people march to King's Landing, some people took boats to King's Landing. Daenerys flies on Drogon, and because he's had time to rest and bond, Aegon flies on Rhaegal. Um, so because they're both on him, they're able to duck and dodge. And while he's aiming at one, the other one burns down his boat, so he's dead. They do manage to destroy some of their boats. Okay, the Euron's people manage to destroy some of the boats, and Missandei gets captured. I left that the same. Missandei gets captured. Tyrion tells them there is a way to sneak into King's Landing on the water side, because that's how he got out, right? Remember? He snuck out of King's Landing after he killed his daddy. So he Grey Worm and some of the Unsullied sneak in under the cover of night, and they get into the Red Keep and open the gates. So they let all of the allies into King's Landing, and they also go searching for Missandei. So they go to rescue Missandei, y'all. Because what? Because Tyrion knew how to get in without going through the front door, and he doesn't underestimate his sister. This is a woman who's been cruel to him his whole life. Why would he underestimate her? Uh, the Allied armies enter the city at dawn. The Golden Company scramble to get into place to secure the castle. Daenerys and Jon fly overhead, destroying all of their weapons, all of the weapons that they have that they could use against the dragons, against, like, any sort of weapons they can use on the people. While the fight ensues outside, Grey Worm searches for Missandei. The mountain protects Cersei, but steps out of the way for Jaime. So they go inside of her, because Jaime's snuck back. So they go inside and lock themselves inside her chambers. When the mountain walks a few feet along, he comes across the Hound. So guess who's in the chambers with Cersei? Not Jaime. It's Arya wearing Jaime's face. The Hound and the Mountain go at it, and Cersei and Jaime talk. Jaime begins to bring up all her lying and treachery to him. Cersei begs for forgiveness. Jaime kills her. Do 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 do. After she's dead, Arya pulls off Jaime's face. Her list is complete. The Hound and the Mountain fight, they both died. We kept that the same. The fight outside continues. The bells ring to announce the death of the queen, that Cersei is dead, and there's really no need to keep fighting. So the Golden Company flees. Daenerys wants blood, but Grey Worm emerges with Missandei. So no need for her to burn down King's Landing because Missandei is safe. Daenerys takes the Iron Throne and is crowned Queen of Westeros. All of the allies defer to Aegon, the monarch they know and trust. Daenerys wants all of the lords of Westeros to report to King's Landing to bend the knee. Arya tells Aegon, Sansa will not bend. Bronn returns to King's Landing after Cersei's death. Because if Bronn has a talent, it is for survival. He knows how to survive. While awaiting everyone's arrival, Daenerys discovers she's with child. Over the next few months, uh, and we're gonna see that. I just didn't write it out. There is a tug of war between uh, Aegon and Daenerys over the North. Um, he finds okay, he, because basically everyone has come to King's Landing and bowed, bended the knee to Daenerys except Sansa. But he's like, look, just give us some time. You know how the North is. It took us a while to get everybody on your side when you were there this, the past winter. Just like give Sansa some time. So he's trying to put off the inevitable. Um, he finds more records and accounts of his father and learns more about the Targaryens. So basically, now that he's in King's Landing, he goes searching. Like I guess, yeah, they take out Meister Kyborn, so they have a, I guess it will be, what's his name? Sam. Sam will be the replacement Meister. So him and Sam. Sam finds all of these, sorry, records and things, because that's what he's good at. He tracks down these records for John to look and find, and and read these accounts of his father, and learns more about the Targaryen family, and um and he would share some of this with uh Daenerys, because she's been away since she was a baby. She was born on the run. So like she learned a lot about her family through her brother, but that's still like, a little boy. He was a little boy when he left. So that's a little boy story. So, you know, she learned some things that even she didn't know. Arya stays in King's Landing to keep an eye on Daenerys for the sake of Sansa, because neither one of these hoes trust Daenerys. I'm sorry, they're not hoes, but still, neither one of them hoes trust Daenerys. So she stays behind just to keep an eye on Daenerys to see what Daenerys is going to do. As Daenerys' pregnancy progresses, she becomes more determined to have Sansa bend the knee. Varys tries to advise her to let it go for now, but she wants to go to war with the North. Um, which he's like, you can't go to war with the North. They're like the largest territory in Westeros. You gotta be more diplomatic. But she's pregnant and she's crazy, so she's doubly crazy. Oh, I've never been pregnant, but my sister's been pregnant 3 times. Trust me. Pregnancy brain is a thing. Do 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 do. So now he's got a plot against her because he can't have her taken out the North. So, oh, this of course happens before, maybe right after they get to everything calms down. Tyrion confronts Arya about killing both his siblings because she couldn't take Jaime's face unless he was dead. Uh, so she don't deny it because Arya's a bad bitch. She tells him Jaime betrayed them all and would have died on the battlefield anyway. So she might as well have used his face for good. Um, Bam. But, she also points out to Tyrion, well, now that everyone in your family is dead, you are now Lord of Casterly Rock. You are not just the hand of the king, you are Lord of Casterly Rock. It belongs to you. Um, Daenerys begins to see and hear things as she gets further along in her pregnancy. She sees the woman she killed to hatch her eggs, the one who told her she could save Drogo, but ends up making him a zombie, and she ends up killing the baby. So Daenerys sees that woman, has visions of that woman, and the vision tells her she is going to lose this baby like she lost the last one. Daenerys believes she needs to sacrifice someone to save her child. Of course, that someone is Sansa. She wants to fly to Winterfell to kill her. Arya gets in her way and stops her. Daenerys, but what Daenerys doesn't see, like she doesn't see Arya in front of her. She sees the dead witch, and she attacks Arya because she thinks it's the dead witch coming for her baby. Aegon stops her and brings her back to her chambers to rest and be like, "You need to calm down. You worried about this baby, but you attacking people ain't gonna help this baby live." Daenerys convinces Grey Worm that Sansa needs to die so that her baby could live. And because Grey Worm is a fanatic who can't think for himself, he takes the Unsullied and the Greyjoy's boats and go back to the north. Once they get to the north, they march through the north, and the Northerners are ready to declare open war to protect their Stark queen. They don't care about them Unsullies. They gonna fight them to the death for Sansa. Arya finds out what Daenerys has done, tells Aegon, who hops on Rhaegal and flies back to the north and lands in front of the Winterfell gates, in front of the Unsullied, while on the back of Rhaegal. He looks, he looks he looks very regal, you know, landing on his dragon. Um Rhaegal shows that his alliance with Jon, because like every time Grey Worm tries to, ignore Aegon and go forward, Rhaegal blows out some fire and sends him back. So Grey Worm is stubborn and determined to do his queen's bidding, especially because he thinks her baby's life is on the line, because he ain't got no sense. He and Aegon argue. Aegon tries to convince him that Daenerys is mistaken and sick. He begs Grey Worm to stand down because he doesn't want to hurt him. The Northerners surround the Unsullied and demand that they back down and listen to the king, Aegon Targaryen. Um, Grey Worm and the Unsullied turn on the Northerners, and Aegon has Rhaegal burn the Unsullied. So that's the end of the Unsullied. The Northerners praise Aegon for saving him. He and Sansa hug it out when they are reunited because, of course, she comes down and watches him. He tells Sansa why Daenerys sent the Unsullied to kill her, and that Daenerys won't back down until Sansa bends the knee. Sansa tells him that he is king, a Targaryen, and the personal lords of Westeros are more comfortable with. She tells him if he really wants to make sure they are all safe, he needs to take control from Daenerys. Bran, who is still at Winterfell with his Seonite, tells Aegon that Daenerys is in labor. So hops back on Rhaegal, flies back to King's Landing. He gets there in time to see Sam coaching Daenerys through labor. She is weak, and Sam warns him that she might not make it. Daenerys is happy to see him. She asks him if Sansa is dead, Aegon avoids the question and tells her she needs to concentrate on having the baby. She gives birth to a boy. Aegon holds the baby and bonds with him. Varys comes in when no one is watching and gives her um, not the milk of the poppy, but I think it's the tears of Lys. He gives her the tears of Lys, probably in her milk of the poppy. He gives her milk of the poppy laced with tears of Lys. And Daenerys dies. And it looks like she died after childbirth. Because that's how Varys would do it. He's a spider after all. Uh, Aegon decides, okay, so after Daenerys' death, well, naturally that leaves Aegon Targaryen in charge of all of Westeros. But we all know he doesn't want to be king. So what does he do? He gives voting powers to the Lords of Westeros. So what they basically did, instead of having them vote in a king, they basically become like a parliament who rule all of Westeros. Um, Sansa asks Jon that the North remain asks Aegon that the North remain independent, and of course he grants her her wish. Aegon takes his baby and goes north behind the wall with the wildlings, and everything remains the same. Arya goes west to see what's west of Westeros. Sansa remains queen of the North. Bran comes to King's Landing and sits on the little council as an advisor. And that is how I would end Game of Thrones. Okay. Like someone said, George R.R. Martin would come for me. But you know something? I am still faithfully waiting for the Winds of Winter. I want to see how he writes it out. But I think he may be, I think it's hard for him to be motivated to finish when the show finished already. I think the show having gone and completed is sort of messing with his organization. But so yeah, so that's how I would redo the final seasons of Game of Thrones. Um, check my description for links to my affiliate links to bookshop.org. If you want to buy A Song of Ice and Fire books, you can get them through my affiliate link, and I'll get a little kickback for you doing that. You can also buy my book, The Fairy Princess. So like I said, I have my own stuff. This is my stuff, The Fairy Princess. This is the first book. The second book is available on ebook right now. I'm waiting for them to send me a physical copy of the second book. And as soon as I get that, then the paperback will be on sale. So right now, the ebook of the second book, Legacy of the Lost, the link is down in the description. If you want to support the channel, please like, subscribe. Uh, you know, you can also help out the channel by donating through Ko-fi, Cash App, Super Thanks, like Emma Frost did. And you can join if you didn't get one of the free memberships that was gifted today. You can join the membership where we do members lives, and we also do watch parties once a month. So on Discord. But yeah, is that everything? Normally I write this down, but I think that's everything. um, Thank you guys for watching. I don't know what I'm gonna do Friday. If I'm gonna come back up Friday, I'll put it in on the community post if I'm gonna go live Friday. So stay tuned to the community post to see what's going up. All right. Thanks.